legal aptitude and legal reasoning MCQ. In which case, majority of the Supreme Court judges were of the view that the federal futures from the basic structure of Indian Constitution. Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Which article of the Constitution of India defines a state? Article 12. The Constitution seeks to secure to the people liberty of dash, equality of status and of opportunity, and fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual. Thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, all of this. According to Article 21A of the Constitution of India, the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years. As per Article 24 of the Constitution of India, no child below the age of dash shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engaged in any other hazardous employment. 14 years. Which part of the Constitution of India provides for directive principles of state policy? Part 4. Which article imposes fundamental duties on the citizens of India? Article 51A. Dash arises when you are precluded from denying the truth of anything which you have represented as a fact, although it is not a fact. Estoppel. Where a person having no authority purports to act as agent or a duly appointed agent exceeds his authority, the principal is dash by the contract supposedly based on his behalf, not bound. The word tort is a dash equivalent of English word wrong, French, which is not a kind of tortious liability, statutory liability, which is not an exception of rule of strict liability, consent of defendant, which pair does not give rise to vicarious liability under law of tort, managers interse, which is not a tort to personal safety and freedom, theft. Dash is an attack on the reputation of a person. It means that something is said or done by a person which affects the reputation of another. Defamation. Dash is the publication of a defamatory statement in a transient form, statement of temporary nature such as spoken words or gestures. Slander, which is a type of judicial remedy. Injunction. The law of tort has largely developed through judicial decisions. The law of tort deals with defamation, trespass, negligence, all of the above. When master is held liable for the wrongful acts of his servant, the liability is called vicarious liability. The mission of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India is to develop high caliber professional facilitating good corporate governance. The ICSI identifies for itself and its members certain core values, which of the given is not included in those core values. Availability. In context of core values of ICSI, dash is an assurance of quality of service and commitment. Reliability. Which one out of the given alternatives is not a duty of a company secretary? To direct the board in the conduct of the affairs of the company. Which of the given services does not cover under taxation services, budgetary controls? What is the full form of IPR? Intellectual property rights. Which of the given activities does not come under the purview of human resources management, searching resources for humans? The Institute of Company Secretaries of India was constituted as a statutory body in the year 1980. A company secretary in practice can appear as authorized representative before Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Competition Commission of India, National Company Law Tribunal, all of the above. The word company is derived from the word Latin word. What is called the body corporate? Because the persons composing it are made into one body by incorporating it according to the law and clothing it with legal personality. Company. Which of the given alternatives is not a characteristics of a company? A citizen under Citizenship Act 1955. First clause in Memorandum of Association of Companies, name clause. Which of the following contains the regulations for management of the company? Articles of Association. The supreme executive authority controlling the management and affairs of a company vests in Board of Directors. What is the retirement age of judges of the Supreme Court? 65. Tort is a civil wrong. The vision of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India is to be a global leader in promoting good corporate governance. Under which article of the Constitution of India, President can impose presidential rule in a state? Article 356. The 10th schedule of the Constitution of India was added by 52nd Amendment Act. A contract is a dash between two or more parties which is enforceable by law. Agreement. 103rd Amendment of the Constitution of India introduces 10% reservation for economically weaker section. In law of tort, a master is generally liable for act of his servant. What is the name of that liability? Vicarious liability. Governor of a state shall hold office during the pleasure of the President of India. How many members of the President of India can nominate to the Council of States of Parliament? 12. Domestic arrangements between husband and wife is not a contract under the Indian Contract Act 1872 because there is no intention to create legal relationship. Part 2 of the Constitution of India deals with citizenship. Injuria sine damnum means injury without damage. Ordinance under a union list may be promulgated by the President. Fundamental rights mentioned in the Constitution of India are borrowed from US Constitution. Terpes contractus means an immoral contract. Which one of the following is not included in the definition of key managerial personnel under the Companies Act 2013? Independent director. Which of the given is not a state under the Constitution of India? A Section 8 company incorporated under the Companies Act 2013. Minimum number of members required for incorporation of a public company under the Companies Act 2013 is 7. Which of the following is not an objective of the law of tort? Criminal punishment. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other person to such act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. Court of record is a court which can punish for its contempt. Which judge of the Supreme Court of India is famously known as the Green Judge? Justice Kuldeep Singh. Which of the following interest is protected by the law of tort? Physical safety. A contract of guarantee may be oral or written. 10th schedule of the Constitution of India is related to provisions as to disqualification on ground of defection. In the year 2002, the Competition Act was enacted and replaced MRTP Act. Right to education is a fundamental right. According to the Constitution of India, all citizens shall have the right to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. This is a fundamental rights. According to the Constitution of India, who is empowered to issue writ? Supreme Court of India. Which of the following are the functions of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India? Conduct of elections to the Council of the Institute, regulation of training of the students, examination of the student, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Which of the following is not included in the preamble to the Constitution of India? Morality. Who is known as the sculptor of the Constitution of India? B.R. Ambedkar. Which of the following are the essential elements of a valid contract under the Indian Contract Act? Lawful consideration, lawful object, free consent, all of these. Every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is called an agreement. Every share in a company having share capital shall be distinguished by its distinctive number. Who has the authority to decide the remuneration of the first auditors? The Board of Directors. The relationship between the parties to a contract, allowing them to sue each other but preventing a third party from doing so is privity of contract. Constitution Day is celebrated on dash every year. 26th November. Which of the following interest is not protected by the law of tort? Loss of commercial profit due to competition. Which writ protects personal liberty? Habeas corpus. Dash of the Indian Constitution guarantees 6 categories of fundamental rights. Part 3. Which of the following are the characteristics of a company? Perpetual succession, corporate personality, separate property, all of the above. No person shall be deprived of his life or dash except according to procedure established by law. Personal liberty. Which of the following agreements cannot be enforced and confers no rights on either party? Void. Which of the following section of Indian Contract Act 1872 defines coercion? Section 15. Constitution of India is basically federal, but with a certain dash features. Unitary. Article 31 of the Constitution of India was also guaranteed as a fundamental right, which has been removed by the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, 1972. Which article of the Constitution of India lays down the rules of interpretation in regard to laws inconsistent with or in derogation of the fundamental rights? Article 13. Which state does not have legislative council? Kerala. According to Section 2, Class H of Indian Contract Act 1872, an agreement enforceable by dash is contract law. The general rule is that an agreement made without consideration is void. According to dash of the Indian Contract Act, a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law becomes void when it ceases to be enforceable. Section 2, Class J. An agreement in restraint of marriage is void. A advances a loan of rupees 5,000 to B and C promises to A that if B does not repay the loan, C will do so. This is a contract of guarantee. Here B is the dash, A is the creditor and C is the surety or guarantor. Principal debtor. In general, a tort consists of some dash by the defendant, that is tortfeasor, whereby he has without just cause or excuse caused some harm to plaintiff. Act or omission. If the harm has been caused due to the act of a stranger who is neither defendant's servant nor agent nor the defendant has any control over him, the defendant will not be liable. Doctrine of consensus ad idem means meeting of minds. According to the Constitution of India, all citizens shall have the right to life, which is a dash, fundamental rights. Dash is not a writ under Article 32 of the Constitution of India. Ubi jus ibi remedium. Company secretary is recognized as one of the dash of a company under the Companies Act 2013. Key managerial person. The mandate for conducting the secretarial audit is provided under dash of the Companies Act 2013, section 204. Which of the following justice is not secured to all its citizens according to preamble of the Constitution of India? Financial. Protection of life and personal liberty is provided in dash of the Constitution of India, Article 21. Which amendment added the word socialist that aims to secure to its people justice, social, economic and political? 42nd Amendment Act.